Hello, I'm a news person. Even though news people don't say hello, they say welcome to the news. And if you haven't heard the news because you've been living under a rock for the last week, first of all, jealous! That rock sounds great. Where do you find that cool rock? Room for one more in your party rock? Second of all, I'm gonna tell you the news now. The thing that everyone's talking about right now, of course, is the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA. And if you hadn't heard about it before this week, very quickly, it's an Obama-era program that allows young immigrants who were brought to America illegally as children to avoid deportation and work and study here. It lasts for 2 years, and then you can apply for a renewal. The people who apply for DACA voluntarily give absolutely all of their information to the government because they believe the government won't use that information to track people down and deport them. Because we used to have a cool president we could trust, even though he also implemented the most deportations of any other president. On Tuesday, the current president, through his haunted ventriloquist dummy Jeff Sessions, announced that he would be rescinding DACA in the next 6 months. Currently, there are about 750,000 DACA recipients. They all came here as children, they're paying taxes, and some are serving in our military or helping with the hurricane relief effort. Now, rescinding DACA doesn't necessarily mean they'll all get deported tomorrow, but it does mean that they will all no longer be able to work legally within 2 years. Almost everyone is mad right now. And now that we're all mostly caught up, we're left with two major questions. Why'd the president do this, and what's going to happen next? So let's start with why. Our president has done some stupid things. Do we have a clip now? Do we have like 900 clips?
My hands are too big. What a crowd, what a turnout. Have a good time.
Woo! Wow-wee! Those are all dumb things, and all from the same day. We didn't even include one of the 2 times he got super horned up to be sitting in a big boy truck. Oh, great. Now I'm horny. The point is, he's done some dumb things, some tone-deaf things, some grossly misinformed things, some subliminally Nazi-esque things, some overtly Nazi-esque things, and some probably treasonous things. But this is without question the most overtly cruel thing he has done as president without a clear benefit emerging. It's not a political move, as major people from both parties have come out against it. The Dreamers are one of the easiest single groups to like. That's why a majority of Americans support DACA and believe Dreamers should be allowed to stay here and work. So his decision isn't part of a play to get new voters on his side. When I described DACA earlier, there's a chance the word illegal jumped out at you and gave you pause, because it makes you think that criminals are coming into this country to do crimes and join gangs and commit violence, and DACA is somehow helping them to do that. But that's not true. This isn't a crime thing. You're not allowed to apply for DACA unless you have a perfect, spotless record and meet several guidelines. You won't be considered if you've been convicted of a felony, a significant misdemeanor, or 3 other misdemeanor offenses, or if you're deemed a threat to national security. You also need to either be in school or have graduated or obtained a certificate of completion from high school. And also, you have to pay almost $465 every time you apply. Dreamers were brought here against their will as children, know no other country but America, grew up here, went to school here, paid taxes here, and every 2 years are willing to pay almost $500 just to apply for the privilege of working here. It is objectively easy to root for these people. We're protecting them because all they want to do is live and work in this country because they love it and it's their home and they've done nothing wrong, and denying people the American dream and punishing children for the sins of their fathers is not what America was founded on. We did a whole statue about it. It's not a money thing either. I mean, as a rule, I hate it when people say things like, if you're not moved enough by this being the right thing to do on moral grounds, then perhaps I could convince you on economic grounds. Because I don't want to live in a world where money dictates every decision everywhere, like capitalism stuff. And because what I'd like to say is, if you're not moved enough by this being the right thing to do on moral grounds, then you're a bad person, and get out of here. That said, 91% of DACA recipients are employed right now. So, if Trump ends renewals, that's between 700,000 and 800,000 people who will lose their ability to work within the next 2 years. And there's no way that won't devastate the economy. The stock market has already gone down. Their applications bring in millions of dollars, and deporting them would cost more than $400 billion. This is fiscally irresponsible. There, I hope that convinced you people that suck. Politicians like it, most Americans like it, business owners and normally robotically soulless tech CEOs like it, and yet, the president. We'll likely never know exactly why President Trump did this. We can guess that it's because his least favorite part of the description of DACA is the Obama-era part, as he's making it a mission to dismantle everything his predecessor did, or maybe he's just listening to the little voice in his head that says illegals equals brown people equals everything wrong with this country, which in this case is the literal voice of Jeff Sessions, who hides inside Trump's sleeping cap and whispers racist conspiracy theories every night.
We gotta get him out, we gotta round him up, we gotta put him away, we gotta put him away forever. Oh my God, I can't believe me.
Also, the president just likes announcing things. So even if he doesn't end up shutting down DACA, he'll get credit from his base for saying that he wanted to. They only want to hear someone say something that sounds like, "I'll get rid of the illegals that Obama let take your jobs," to love Trump. And Trump just wants people to cheer for him.
My hands are too big.
Woo! Yes! Wow, they're the biggest. Is that what you want to hear? I've never seen bigger hands. I bet you can't even fit those big old grabbers in a baseball glove. You're like the Hulk, so big. Is that enough? Will you step down now? No, didn't think so. Moving on to what happens now. It looks like it's up to Congress to decide. Once it was clear that no one was in support of this decision except aging racist in the old man body yet baby brain phase of his Benjamin Buttoning, Jeff Sessions, the president took to Twitter to say, quote, "Congress now has 6 months to legalize DACA, something the Obama administration was unable to do. If they can't, I will revisit this issue." Note that he didn't say fix or repeal DACA in that tweet, but legalize it. Legalize it. Essentially endorsing the program and implying that the problem isn't anything about the program and just about Obama's method for doing it. The president then, against the wishes of his party leaders, met and struck a deal with Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi that promises money for both Harvey relief, and maybe the 12 hurricanes next week, and government funding for the next 3 months, walking back a long-standing threat that Trump would shut the government down unless Congress does what he says. He's now given a lot of negotiating power to Democrats. According to Axios, this is the deal of the century for Democrats, and one Republican close to leadership laments, quote, "Dems bluff their way into total victory. They win the politics of DACA and leverage on debt in the winter. The fate is sealed. DACA will be reauthorized without strings. Schumer has inserted himself into all negotiations in the winter, including tax, spending, and immigration." Wait, what the did I just read? If I'm understanding this timeline correctly, the president made an announcement without really thinking it through, saw that it wasn't a popular move, and is now working with Democrats to make DACA a law specifically because it was something Obama couldn't do, specifically because he had an uncooperative Congress. I mean, it's hard for me to get excited about anything, but I'm almost positive that our worst president ever just stumbled ass backwards into codifying a moral win for every dreamer and everyone who supports them. It was reported that a lot of Trump's aides didn't think he totally understood what DACA was and what the impact of rescinding it would be, so it's possible that once he saw the public reaction, he immediately changed his mind and is now on the right side of history. I don't know what to do with this information. There's a really good chance that we end up accidentally protecting dreamers forever. It kind of sounds like good news, which is rare for this show. Do we have a clip of like good news on this show? Thought so. Bye.
Everybody, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit the bell icon with notifications.